Take a look at this footage from a race start. You are watching dozens of swimmers frantically thrashing through open water, fighting for space and air. It is pure physical chaos. For most beginners, the assumption is that finishing requires an extreme threshold for pain. The logic is simple. You put your head down, grit your teeth, and endure the suffering until the race is over. But pushing the body to its limit without a sustainable plan has consequences. High injury rates often stem from very specific issues, like chronic underfueling, skipping your rest days, and obsessing over perfect metrics. Relying solely on grit often leads to a breakdown. Surviving a triathlon requires a method that accounts for variables beyond raw physical endurance. USA Triathlon coach Parker Spencer is currently building the roster for the LA 2028 Olympic team. He runs Project Podium, an elite development program designed to train top-tier male endurance athletes for international competition. Spencer's methodology moves away from the work harder mentality. Instead, he uses a system that balances strict physiological testing with strong interpersonal relationships and team dynamics. This diagram outlines the core pillars of his approach. To conquer a triathlon, whether you are an Olympian or a 19-year-old amateur, you have to account for three specific categories: the controlled, the uncontrollable, and the collective. Integrating these variables allows an athlete to navigate the distance through logic rather than raw effort. The very first category is the controlled. These are the precise biomechanical inputs and specific training metrics that you can isolate, measure, and perfect in your daily routine. This vector diagram compares two distinct approaches to swimming biomechanics. On the left, an uncoordinated flutter kick driven by the knees wastes significant energy. On the right, keeping the legs close together and generating propulsion from the hips creates a streamlined, efficient stroke. To isolate these mechanics on the bike, athletes use tools like ROUVY. ROUVY is an indoor cycling application that simulates real-world routes using video and augmented reality. It acts as a controlled laboratory. By removing external distractions like car traffic and stoplights, you can focus exclusively on holding a strict aerodynamic position and locking in your pacing on simulated Ironman courses. Mastering these scientific variables builds a durable physical baseline, the foundation you need to handle the unpredictable elements of race day. Because the moment the starting gun fires, those controlled environments disappear. You are immediately exposed to environmental shifts. We can look at Lionel Sanders' victory at the Ironman 70.3 in Dallas as a case study in rapid adaptation. Look at this footage of sudden, severe weather. In Dallas, abrupt storm conditions forced organizers to shorten the swim segment, altering race dynamics instantly. Sanders abandoned his original strategy and immediately pivoted. Recognizing the shortened swim played to his specific strengths, he used the shift to dominate the field on the subsequent bike and run segments. This geographic map of Victoria Harbour highlights another unpredictable logistical hurdle. For the Asia Championships in Hong Kong, complex marine traffic routes are closed off for the swim segment, disrupting travel plans. Organizers also frequently enact sudden bike course layout changes in Jacksonville. Physical conditioning provides the engine, but the ability to pivot under pressure determines if that engine actually reaches the finish line when the environment changes. The final variable is the collective intelligence of the endurance community. Despite the solo nature of the race, navigating the logistical hurdles requires cooperation. Textbook sports nutrition often fails under the stress of a long race. Overly engineered gels and energy bars frequently cause gastrointestinal distress out on the course. Instead of suffering through it, athletes tap into community-sourced hacks. They swap out gels for portable whole foods like dried mango slices or homemade energy balls packed with oats and honey to deliver high-density energy without the stomach pain. Take a look at this comparative schematic. On the left is a sprawling full Ironman transition zone, complete with separate changing tents and large bag walls. Scaled down next to it is the transition flow for a 70.3. Community wisdom prepares first-timers for this exact difference, showing them a simplified flow where all gear stays localized at the bike rack. Crossing the finish line requires tapping into the shared operational intelligence of the athletes who have navigated the course before you. When you bring biomechanical science, environmental adaptability, and shared wisdom together, you achieve a successful race execution. This framework holds true regardless of the distance. It works whether you are tackling the flat, calm, beginner-friendly waters of Lake Havasu or executing a build phase for a sub-12-hour full Ironman. As this animated diagram shows, the three distinct elements of the race merge into a single, unified strategy. You honor the science of your biomechanics, you accept the unpredictability of the environment, and you lean on community wisdom. By breaking the race down into these three categories, the physical distance becomes a manageable sequence of decisions. Now it's time to find your position in the community. Contribute your voice to the Triathlete 2026 Community Survey, or take the TriLaunchpad 2-minute assessment today to identify exactly where you are on your endurance journey.